are listening to the Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings.
Welcome to TSP. I'm your host, Sensei Phil, and I'm joined by the regular motley crew, Charlie, Finn, where he was there, I don't know where he's gone, and Katie. First of all, happy International Women's Day from yesterday for all our female supporters. Let's start with Katie. How have you been, Katie? Did you do anything special yesterday?
Good, thank you. No, we had a match, so we'll come on to that later, I'm guessing. But no, so we were all together, so it's quite nice, but nothing out of the ordinary.
So you all celebrated together, International Women's Day.
Yeah, nice.
Fair enough. Charlie, did you do anything special for the missus?
No, to be honest, I didn't, which sounds really awful, doesn't it, really? But yeah, I mean, it was together, but we just, nothing too different. I mean, I won't. Nothing.
I'll
nothing
have to
special.
edit this out.
yeah, you probably put me on one there.
Yeah, I have. Finn, what about you?
I'd love to top trump Charlie and say I did something special, but I didn't either. Not really. No, it's been quite a few days, really. I didn't go to the Carlisle game, but we'll get onto that later. But it's been quite a few days, really.
Yeah, I didn't do anything either.
Good. I'm glad it was not just me. Then.
I'm gonna have to really edit this show off.
To be fair, like we worked together. So we've done quite a bit at work to celebrate it and stuff. So it's not completely without, but yeah, that's me backtracking.
We're all in the doghouse after this. Well, I had quite a busy weekend. It was a jiu-jitsu grading. Oh my word, so many kids on Saturday. So the first session's always the worst one because it starts at 8:30 and there's about 100 4-year-olds on the mat and it's the worst alarm clock ever. It is absolute torture to your ears. And then obviously it's quite a long day, and then Sunday it gets to the older ones and then the adults as well. So yeah, very busy weekend. But so I didn't have much time to do anything for the missus, but I'll edit that out anyway. Oh no, I did. We went bowling actually Saturday night with some friends. I haven't done that for ages. That was good fun. Won the first game, so I was really happy with that, and then went massively downhill, which tends to happen. I either start really well and go downhill, or start really badly and get better as I go on.
Is that because you put the barriers down?
Huh?
Is that because you put the barriers down after last?
Yeah, no, we didn't have barriers. They did in the next lane, actually. But, so I won the first game, as I said. So the second game, I was just messing around and coming up with all these different types of strikes, and it went so badly. But, yeah, it was a great laugh. I haven't been for ages. I forgot how much fun it was. So, yeah, that was good. Right, before we review the action from last week, got to say happy birthday to Ollie Coker. That man, 23 today. Happy birthday, Cokes. So, yeah, imagine being young, good-looking and talented, eh, Charlie?
And 23, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ollie's going to have to keep imagining because he's never going to be like me. But, yeah.
Seems a while ago, but, I mean, even longer for you, Phil, eh?
It was a long, long time ago. Yeah. Finn, you're probably not too far from there. And Katie?
Nah.
A bit younger.
Well, I'm 20 this year, so, yeah. Got a few years
I am 23, so...
Oh, you are? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's in good company. I remember last year, actually, he said to me, I'm getting old now. Last year was the coach. 22.
Yeah.
So now he'll be like old man tomorrow. Happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Right. We will start with Truro. 1-1 draw. I've got to be honest. Probably... Don't want to be negative, but it's probably the worst first half I've seen from us for a long, long time. Finn, your 6-0 went out the window very quickly.
Yeah.
I think we all got predictions terribly wrong. It was an awful, awful first half.
Yeah, I think most people would have got predictions wrong. We're going to talk about my right prediction later with Carlisle. Pretty spot-on prediction there. But, I mean, I think most people would have got that one wrong. It was a bit... I mean, I think that first half was probably the worst half of football that we've kind of seen for Southend. I mean, certainly this season, but, as you said, probably for a long, long time, really. I don't want to be kind of disrespectful to Truro, but I don't even think they were necessarily quality. I don't think it was necessarily like we were shocked by their quality. I do think we looked a bit complacent. I do think we looked a little bit like, it's just a case of turning up. in that first half, and they definitely shocked us a bit. But I mean, yeah, it was really, really not good. I mean, there's just so many things wrong. I mean, yeah, I don't want to single anyone out, but Mason's kicking in that game was.
Yeah, I was going to mention that it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't its best. I mean, he kept just hoofing it up. You know, when you got like Bridgie was playing up there, Dallas, their centre backs were just getting it every single time, and putting us back under pressure. So I don't know if he was told before to go long, but it just didn't work.
No, and to be honest, it's not. You know, I think it's pretty partly him, but like I don't want to say it's all his fault because you don't know what he's being told by coaches. You know, you don't know what Kev's kind of telling him to do, and that sort of thing. So. Yeah, it was weird. It looked actually more like a tactical choice because we kept just doing the same thing over and over again. And, you know, you're lamping it up top. A lot of the balls weren't quality kicks of the ball anyway. And even if they were going straight to, I mean, Dallas most of the time, who, you know, as much as I love him, he's not exactly the tallest of players or the most aerial presence. So it was a bit of a bizarre choice. But to be honest, I don't really think anyone particularly played well in that first half.
No.
It all just looked very slow, very, you know, we couldn't quite put the right crosses in. When we did put the right crosses in, there was no one there. It was, to be honest, I can't really pick any positives out of it. I hope someone else can.
Charlie, have a go.
The positive was it only lasted 45 minutes, I guess.
Plus 2 minutes of stoppages,
I think, like Finn said, I mean, I will just touch on, I think, unlike you lot, you seem to think it was a goal fest. I actually didn't. I think if you listen back, I actually called it a 1-0. And I did think that...
You did, actually.
So I did think it was a bit... and I mean, I did think it would be a bit more of a cagier affair than what you guys probably did. However, I didn't expect it to pan out the way it did. I think Truro surprised me in the way, because I personally thought they would have just sort of sat back, just sort of deep block and frustrated us and stuff, but actually they sort of played the opposite. They just came straight at us, which I don't know if that kind of surprised us a little bit, because we sort of just didn't seem to know how to deal with it, because they were a really attacking force. And I think if they had a bit more quality in that final third, they had some really good opportunities that, had they gone 3-4-0 in at half time, it probably wouldn't have been undeserved, to be honest with you. It was just their lack of finishing that final third and up top, which probably saved us, to be honest with you. I mean, their goal was a route one straight down the middle, wasn't it? Really, you know, took our 2 players out of the game, and you know, it was a tidy finish. But you know, they had some good opportunities before that. But we just could not, from the word go, seem to get a foothold of that gap of the ball. We just seemed to be all over the place. I know there's a few changes made, and I don't know if it was a bit of uncohesion between the team, that, you know, with players that haven't, you know, just come in and haven't really settled or played in that sort of format. I don't know, but it was it was by far the worst performance of the first half that we've seen.
What did you make of that? Talking about players coming in, I mean, Golding came in, obviously Taylor was rested on the bench, and for that first goal, I mean, you could see throughout the match that Golding was lacking match fitness, not got a lot of minutes in him, and you know, that goal for Truro, that the defence were completely split, and just he pierced the ball right down the middle, and we were miles off it.
I mean, Golding's just come in, and he's obviously not played too much alongside Goodliff. I think that was probably their first sort of start together. And having Taylor out, I don't think that's any coincidence that the defence looked a little bit shaky, because when he's played, which is, you know, the majority of the season, all bar maybe one game prior to the Truro game, there's not much that gets past the defence, especially the way that they broke us down for the goal. I think Golding, he's a very attacking forward sort of defender, whereas Taylor, you know, he's more reserved. He'll read that play, track the runner and stuff, and read the play there. But saying that, when I see the lineup, I was quite happy with it, to be honest. I wasn't
disappointed.
Too disappointed that Taylor, you know, it was probably, you know, he's played a lot of games. It was probably the right game for him to rest. With no, like Finn said, no disrespect to Truro, they've come in at the time losing the previous 6 games, bottom of the table. So Golding to replace him isn't a bad
You've got to get minutes into him, haven't you? At some point.
Absolutely. Same with
better
Bridgie.
to do it against a team that's lost 6 on the bounce?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got the quality that they should have done a lot better than they did. I think it was just in that middle of the park we just didn't seem to be able to get a foothold of that ball at all. They were first to every ball, every header, and like Finn said, I think one thing that's really frustrating was that every time we had the ball, it was lumped up top to Kendall and Dallas, who, like you say, they're not the tallest of players, and even when they did win the header, it's just going. There's no one there to follow it on. It was just headed straight back on into their goalkeeper's arms, and then let's go again. And that just seemed to be sort of the pattern of play up until the 44th minute or whenever it was of the first half, where we sort of had about 3 or 4 corners on the bounce and put some real sustained pressure on them. But it makes you wonder why it took that long, for us to actually start, realising actually we're in a game here. Yeah.
And I think the other thing we'd learned from that game, as much as I love him, Jack Bridge, he needs to be touching chalk. It doesn't work for me with Jack playing through the middle, and that was really evident. Coming to the second half, we did change it up. Obviously, Goodliff went off and Coker came on second half. Now, I thought Coker had an excellent second half. He got the ball moving a lot quicker in the middle. We obviously pushed Bridge out wide, and he was getting a lot more joy. And for me, it kind of shows you that Bridge is only going to work now either in a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1 with him left. It just doesn't work either as a left wing back because he hasn't got the pace to get up and down now. Whereas if he's got that support with boys behind him, it works really well. And we saw shades of that at Boreham. But yeah, for me, it just doesn't work in the middle.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was really hoping Bridge, because I've said before that I think Bridge is probably felt it's a bit unfortunate he's not started or played more games. But as you say, I just think the formation that we have, it just doesn't suit his style of play. As you say, that first half, he just was a bit lost in there. We didn't really see the best of him, and it wasn't until that second half, like you say, when he's then on that touchline and then he's running at defenders, put them on the back foot, and I think he had the run-in of Oxlade-Chamberlain on the side there. And you say you've got boys there with the overlap who's, very good at the crossing as well. So he gave us a lot more threat going forward, which, it's a shame we didn't see it in the first half. But I think the changes, Coker coming on just changed that game massively. Now, whether it was enforced due to Goodliff's injury, I don't know. Whether it's tactical, who knows? But needless to say, when he did come on, he gave us that urgency and that drive forward that we just didn't seem to have in that first half. And, we know with Cokes, he's got a goal in him, he's got a shot on him. And he was always, as soon as he gets that ball, he's got his head up, looking to play the ball forward, trying to, get in behind. So, yeah, I was really impressed with his performance.
Well, by all accounts, it was a sub, if you like, by default, because Goodliff did have an injury. But then, Kev obviously looked at it. He could have brought on Taylor, but he opted to bring on Coates in the middle. And it did change the second half. I mean, we had a lot of chances, to be fair, second half. And, Katie, I think we had more than enough chances to win that game. Why aren't the strikers doing it at the moment? I mean, I know Kendall did get the goal, and obviously we talk about Dallas scored this week, but the chances that they're getting, we just can't seem to finish at the minute.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's changed, to be honest, because we seem to be on a good streak of putting away the shots we were taking. But it's almost like it's just something's not clicking. We almost need the pressure of going behind in a game to be able to gear ourselves up to get going a little bit. Hopefully it's just a little blip and it will come back. But yeah, I'm not really sure why. Maybe there's not one certain thing. Maybe it's just a cohesive thing and it's just not clicking at the minute.
So, Finn, your boy Kendall, he obviously got on the score sheet. Good finish, actually.
Yep.
What are you making of him since he's been back? Obviously, we had a couple of assists against Brackley. He got a start.
Yeah, I think out of all the strikers, I've said this before, I think he's the one that excites me the most. And kind of on what you were talking about earlier, but with Katie, I think potentially the reason that they're not putting away chances, obviously it's hard to kind of nail it down to one thing, but it does feel like they can't just have like a good run of games of them two just playing directly together and then building that kind of partnership. For the past few kind of games, if you look at Carlisle, it was I think it was Hopper and Dallas up top. You look at Brackley, I think it was Walker and Dallas, and then Kendall and Dallas. So it's always like there's different kind of players up top, whereas we need to have that kind of direct partnership between those two and let them have a good few games. But yeah, I love Kendall. I think he's a quality player. I think on his day he can really. He's one of those players that can really kind of frighten sides. He's a very exciting player. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we were nearly clinical enough in that Truro game. I mean, I think we hit the crossbar twice.
Yeah.
Which I know people say it's a bit unlucky, but it's bottom of the league, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Truro because they did, they came and did what they wanted to do.
Yeah, they surprised us, to be fair.
Yeah, and as Charlie said, credit to them as well, because I think I kind of expected them to play a little bit deep and just kind of grind out the result like most teams do when they come to the Roots Hall. But they really came at us, and it did shock us, like Charlie said. But yeah, we weren't nearly clinical enough, and it's hard to nail it down to one thing, really.
Well, on to Carlisle. Big shout out to Shrimpers fans. Was it 642 travelled?
Yeah,
Incredible.
Yeah, very good.
For a late kickoff as well. And we mentioned before on the way back, I know one of the buses broke down, didn't it? What did they get back? Was it Katie?
I think I read on Twitter, yeah, it was 5:30 they got home in the end. They'd left at 7:30 that morning.
That's
so
a long trip, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, thank God they had something to cheer about. Because obviously before the game, after the Truro game, there wasn't a lot to cheer about. And obviously Boreham midweek as well. And I think the optimism wasn't that we're going to go there and get a result. Absolute nightmare start. I don't know if you saw it, Charlie.
Yeah, I was watching it on the Zone, their coverage, and for a game where you're aware that you haven't beaten the top six all season or taken very little points off of them, knowing the threat they have and how strong a team they are with a big crowd at home, the last thing you wanted was to concede an early goal. Just shut the crowd up, build momentum into the game, and the longer the game goes on, then hopefully Carlisle will start feeling that pressure. However, Southend don't like to do things the easy way, do they? And we couldn't have got off to a worse start.
Well, we can see the goal. Let me just share it with you. I don't know if you saw it, Katie.
I've seen it, yeah. I don't really want to see it again.
I was going to say, we have to watch it again.
Yeah, I know. Let's just see what happened. Yeah, not great.
No.
I mean, he's quite fortunate, really, that the other guy stuck it in the back of the net, because he could have quite found himself with a red card and a penalty.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
After 4 minutes.
But I think what the clip there you've showed is the direct sort of incident where it was the poor clearance from Mason straight to, I think, was it Hearn, who then, it was a tap in, obviously, for Kelly, who I mentioned last week, that, he is a threat. So, but what you haven't shown there was the build up to that, leading up to it. There was a couple of opportunities where we had the opportunity to get rid of the ball, yet we sort of insisted playing it across the back, and then we sort of invited the pressure onto ourselves, where you think, just play it into the channels, just get it up the other end of the pitch, and we'll rebuild and try and play in their half a bit. But it's one of those, isn't it, that if he makes that pass, it all looks good, it's tidy football out the back and everything. However, sometimes you just take yourself out of that situation and get rid of the ball. And it was a very, very poor sort of pass. And as you say, he got an absolute calater in trying to make the block.
Yeah, injured now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think, watching it back, I think it was a knee to the head, and he got it looks like there was concussion, but when
they were full of protocols, don't you?
Yeah, and he wanted to stay on. Obviously, the first thing he wants to do is trying to make amends for his error. But obviously the medical team, they know better, and player safety is paramount, and he probably wasn't in the right state of mind of, to actually make that decision himself. So he sort of had to be forced off the pitch, really. But obviously Colin then come in, and to be fair, Colin, I don't think actually had too much to do, really. You had Linney's goal, which I don't think he could do too much about. But other than that, I don't think he was tested a huge amount.
No. So, Katie, we mentioned Colin. We said before, didn't we, early in the season, that, I felt that both Colin and Hazy weren't really getting hold of that shirt and saying, right, I'm going to keep this. We found, obviously, Owen coming in. He's got a run of games. And then Colin, all of a sudden, he's on the pitch. Is this the opportunity for him now to say, right, no more messing around, I'm having this? Because, I don't know, we've just had a weird season with goalkeepers, and we just can't seem to find someone that can kick a ball.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect opportunity, to be fair, especially I hope he's all right, but if he's out for a couple of weeks, then he should get a good run of games in. But I feel like you said, no one is just stepping up and going, I want to be the starting goalkeeper. Like Finn said, Mason's made a few, like, the kicking errors and stuff the past couple of weeks. Obviously, that goal, like, no one is screaming that this is my spot and I'm going to keep it. So I feel like it's definitely open for the taking, and it has been all season. But they've just got to take the opportunity now. I don't know how much longer you can give them.
Yeah, it must be frustrating for Kev. Okay, so we had 1-0. I don't know if you saw Ollie Cokes, our boy, birthday boy. Big shout of penalty. Spoke to him today, and he said, yeah, I felt it was a pen. Looking at it, I've seen those given this season. Finn, did you? What was your take on that?
I haven't actually seen it, to be honest, so I'm probably not the best person to ask for this one.
Charlie, then, let's ask you. I mean, it was
it was 100% as a penalty. 100%. If that's anywhere on the pitch, it's a free kick, but it's in the penalty box. The refs always seem to be reluctant. I mean, he's put both hands.
We don't seem to be getting.
No, he's put both hands on the back of him.
Yeah,
and you physically pushed him. You can't make. There's no excuse for it. It's an obvious penalty that the refs missed there, but unfortunately, like you say, the refereeing of this league, we see it's the inconsistency. 1 week they're given, other weeks they're not. And all you want is just to get the basic, obvious decisions right, which, they seem to struggle with.
So, obviously, 2-0 down then. Lenny scored his first goal in 8, of course. Unmarked at the back post. And then you're thinking, half-time, please don't come out, let it finish sort of 3 or 4. But fair play to us. We come out and really played well second half. Different team, creating many chances. Got a glimmer of hope from Dallas. Really good move involving Golding and Coker. Assist for Cokes, and Dallas with his 11th for the season. So, yeah, back in the game and playing really well. And, I've seen on social media a lot recently, people saying, oh, well, the players are just not playing for Kev. I don't think there's any evidence of that, because if you look at the Truro game, absolutely shocking first half. Go back to Boreham, actually. Not a great first half. Yeah, OK, we lost the game 2-0, but I thought we were much better second half. Again, against Truro, terrible first half, but second half came out on fire. Now, if that's the case, players not playing for them, they're down tools for 90 minutes. Just look at Tottenham. You watch them for 90 minutes at the minute, and from the first minute to the 90th minute, I know, Katie. I'm sorry.
It's lovely to watch, isn't it? It's brilliant. I think it's amazing.
A set of players who are down tools. Now, our players are not doing that. If you look at, our second halves, the last couple of games, we've played really, really well. So, obviously, Kev's got them in the changing room, a couple of tweaks, said a few words, and we come out and played really, really well. Charlie?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I don't see any evidence that the team aren't playing for the manager and stuff. I think, it's easy, isn't it, on TikTok and Twitter and Rex and social media, that in the heat of the moment, people's emotions are high, and it's very easy to point fingers at management and speculate that players aren't turning up and things like that. I just think I don't know what it is that we have to leave it to be going sort of 1-2-0 down to then go, right, okay, let's put a performance in now. Whether it's a bit of, I don't know, in that first half they're a bit cautious, because we always seemed in the second half to be sort of a lot more free-flowing attacking than the first half, even at Roots Hall. I mean, we still have our chances in the first half, but I always feel in the second half is when we really go at teams. But yeah, as you say, it's a big gamble relying on a second half to try and turn a result around. Obviously, we were fortunate on Saturday against Carlisle, and yeah, similar to Roots Hall, that we dominated large possessions of even when we was 2-0 down. I felt that we had possession of the game in large chunks. We just didn't really create too much with it. However, in the second half, we seemed to create a lot more. Maybe it's been a bit more direct. Golding was making a lot more runs forward, which actually I think led to Dallas's goal.
Yeah.
He sort of picked the ball up from the centre there, sort of drove forward, which in turn then sort of forces everybody forward. So it then creates little pockets for Dallas and Kendall and the likes to then move into. But yeah, why it takes the second half for us to really wake up and get going, I'm not too sure. I mean, the one thing I would like to say is just, I find that when we play, we kind of feel a bit like one-dimensional in the fact that everything's got to go down the wing. I feel like everything's played down the wing and created from the wings. It's very rare that we open teams up down the middle or play a ball through. And I think that's where like Dallas and that, I'd like to see them, because I think they would probably, turn in on that last man, playing the ball in behind and running onto those balls. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. And I think we'd get a bit more joy, because all the time we do get a lot of crosses and have a lot of joy from that side, but often not those crosses. It's the quality of the crosses as well, and it's fine chucking balls in from the wings and stuff, but if you're not clinical enough, then we need to just mix it up and try other routes. That's my only sort of criticism, really.
So the equaliser came from a cross, brilliant cross, I've got to say, by boys.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Brackley game, where he broke forward and it just put a beautiful ball into that area. That's the perfect area for strikers to go and attack it.
Yeah.
But, second occasion in recent games where he's done that, and their defenders tried to deal with a bounce, got it completely wrong and put it in the back of the net. And you can see the reaction from the players. I mean, fantastic. I think he's picked up his form, don't you, Finn, recently?
Yeah, I think absolutely. And I think passing-wise, he's probably one of our best passers, I'd say, particularly with his crossing. I mean, sometimes I'm not sure, but I do think, on the most part, I do think that his crossing is quality. And yeah, it was very similar to the Brackley game. And whilst it was an own goal, it's in a way it's kind of his goal, to be honest, because he set it up, and he was kind of the reason it went in. So yeah, I think Boys is quality, and I think he's brought us a new kind of element to the squad this season that potentially we didn't have last season, and I think it brings a bit of balance to us to have a good left side and right side.
Well, I think he's in double figures for assists now, isn't he? And he's recently gone very close with a few shots. Obviously scored his first goal the other week, but yeah, he's on great form. Katie, just thinking about that comeback, the character we kind of shown there. How important is that character going to be going into, hopefully, the end of the season with the playoffs? Because as you know, listen, we've only got to finish 7th. You've got to be in 7th to get in that playoff spot, to be in the mix. And it is all about momentum, as we found out last year. You're going to need character. And some of the games last year, we went away. I think, was it Rochdale, 3-1 down? We showed great character. Are we going to need a bit of that character again?
Definitely. I think after the Truro game, all I read was negative stuff on social media and stuff. And I think maybe, I don't know whether they read that or not, but whether that spurred them on a little bit. But I think between now and the end of the season, every point, whether it's 3 or just 1 point, is going to be critical. It's so tight in that top, for the playoffs. And yeah, we've got a few games in hand, and we are slowly building on our points. But yeah, every point, especially against the top 6, is going to be critical.
Yeah. Okay, it's the end of the first half. Quick break, and we will be back. Don't go away.
by Riverside.
This is the halftime show in memory of John Garrell.
Right, let's go straight on to Katie. Ladies, what is going on? Tell us about yesterday. Was it hashtag?
Yep. Yeah, top of the league.
They're top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they only need to win one more game and then they've won the league with about 4
Right.
games to spare. So
Yeah.
they're a very, very good side. Yeah, we lost 6-0. Wasn't our finest day. We didn't have a huge squad. There was a few players ill, a few players on holiday. So we had to make do with what we had. But reffing wasn't the best either, which seems to be consistent across the men and women's. So yeah, he was giving away free kicks on the edge of the box that shouldn't have been free kicks, and they were just hoofing them in the top corner from about the halfway line. Some of them were unbelievable strikes, to be fair. But it was 3-0 at half time. We came out fighting. We sort of were on the front foot for the first 15-20 minutes. Looked like we were going to get a goal back. We had a penalty shout, but ref brushed it off. Keeper swiped out Abby Rex completely, but ref said keeper got there first. And then yeah, they were so clinical in front of goal. It was ridiculous. It was like a magnet. But yeah, you can see why they're going to win the league, and they deserve it, to be honest.
So I think you've only got a few games left now, haven't you? Is it a case of seeing it out and rebuilding for next season? I mean, what changes do you see for next season? I mean, you pre-season, I'm guessing you'll, be seeing a few changes going on.
Yeah, I think we just need to stick together till the end of the season. We've got 3 more games, and then Nick's already said we're all in for a hell of a summer at pre-season. I think he's looking forward to that one. Yeah. Apparently, he said he's not had a pre-season yet where someone's not been sick, so I'll look forward to that one.
That's something to look forward to.
Yeah. I think maybe we were a bit naive in the sense of when Nick came in, we thought it was going to instantly change things.
Yeah.
But obviously they take time, don't they? We have to get used to the way he works. He has to get used to the way we play. So I think it's definitely got the foundations there. We just need to keep building on it. Bring some new players in, fresh legs, fresh ideas. And I think unfortunately we will lose some players at the end of the season, but that's just life.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we can stick together, build on what we've got, and hopefully the only way's up.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to the summer because obviously we've got the World Cup. Katie will be vomiting.
So we've got the game on the 16th first at Roots Hall.
You have, yeah. You got that one first.
Yeah, we got that one
May,
first. Then he'll kill us after that.
Then you'll be vomiting, running up hills after that. Oh, yeah. Don't envy you at all. Well, loads of news coming out of the club this week. So today, announced Cardwell will be joining us on a permanent. I think we kind of knew that was going to happen. Finn, what's your reaction to that?
I mean, we're talking about our deal or no deal segment the other week. It's a bit of a mixed one, really. I don't know. It obviously on his day, I actually do. I saw some fans kind of saying they don't rate him, but I don't agree with that at all. To be honest, I think on his day, I think he's a quality player, and I think when he's fit, in the games that he played even this season, I think it's only 5, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? I think he's good, but is it worth the risk with the injuries? I'm not too sure. It's difficult because I really like him, but yeah, the injury worry is just massive, and it was even when we had him before as well. And obviously at Forest Green, he had a few issues, I think, and then he's come here and had issues again. There's quite a track record of it now, and yeah, I mean, he's a good option, but yeah.
I mean, we did get a whole season out of him, and the season, obviously, Forest Green come and took him from us. He was, firing goals, the season before. Charlie, for me, he is a gamble, as you said, Finn. But I mean, there's no better striker, in my opinion, that fits into Kev's system. in terms of, I said before, in terms of the press, in terms of his aerial ability, his pace, his power, great in both boxes. And if I'm honest, when he went, we never really, well, we had Pebble, didn't we, which was probably the closest thing to him, but we never really properly replaced him. So having him back, I mean, if we can get him fit, he will be such a plus point. But it's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like Finn said, when he's fit and he's at it, he's a real asset to the team. There's no doubt that he would be one of your starting strikers. He'd be a focal point that you build the team around, really. But the massive concern, I've said it before, is his injuries. We had that good season from him when he was first with us, but then he spent quite a period of time with injuries. Gone to Forest Green, hasn't worked out for whatever reason, but again has had some injuries there. Come back to us, and he's played a couple of games, but again has been in the treatment room since. And I do. My only concern is that is going back to these players that we've had of old, and we want to get out this league. We want to be looking forward, and I just worry about looking at these players that we try to look at and who we've had before that have done a job before, but it's not necessarily mean they're going to do a job again, if that makes sense. We've had players in the past that we've had Casper, we've had Atkinson, we've got Hopper, we've got Cardwell back. For me, it just seems a little bit static, and we've seen in the top six the business that they do, getting these players, and okay, we may have to put our hands in our pocket a little bit, okay, and I appreciate we haven't got the biggest pockets and the biggest budget, in the league, but I think we've still got a budget that I just think, why are we not looking ahead and going, actually, is there other players here that haven't got these injury issues, that are proven in the league, that can do a job for us? So yeah, that's my only sort of criticism, really, because I like Finn say, when he's fit and he's at it, he's a brilliant player, but it's a hell of a gamble for someone who's still in a treatment room. If he was playing for us now, been playing the last 5, 6, 7 games for us, and they offered him the deal, I'll go, yeah, absolutely. Why not? He's come in, he's hit the ground running, he's playing really well. But the matter of fact is, he's still in a treatment room, and we've offered him a permanent deal. I just think, I don't know. I'm not too sure. Is it a panic? I don't know.
Fans are definitely split on this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If we can get him fit, I mean, what an end of season signing he could be to get us over the line. But like I say,
that's fine for like this season. But we're talking about like next season now. I mean, we don't know how long the deal is. But if we want to get out of this league, we've got to start making some real statement of intent. And I think there will be a lot of change. I do think that there's a lot of players that are up. We've discussed it before. They're out of contract at the end of the season. I think there will be a lot of change at the end of this season.
Yeah.
And I think this will really see now actually the direction of what we're focusing on. If we really want to get out of this league, we need to start really making some key signings, really.
Well, talking of signings, there is speculation of another loanee coming in. We read from Chris Phillips today. A midfielder, I believe. And I have heard the name, former player, Harrison Neal. No, I'm joking. I would have been told about that if that was the case. I wish. But we're hearing, you said, Charlie, it was a championship club, we were told. We joked earlier and said, is it Tottenham? Charlie said, no, it's coming from a decent team.
How rude.
Sorry, Katie.
You got a few more weeks of this year.
How do you just get rid of someone off this call?
So no news on that yet, but we've heard that it possibly could be announced before the game tomorrow. So yeah, any ideas, Finn? Any clues?
I don't know. I've been trying to think who it could be, but I just have no idea really. I mean, what I'm hoping is, I hope it's I hope it's someone with a bit of strength and who can properly put in a tackle. I mean, that would be ideal for us. I think that's kind of just what we're missing in that midfield. Just need that bit of strength.
I mean, I don't know if we don't know how long it's for, whether it's a season or whether it's a month. I wondered if it was, I was hoping it's not a replacement for Leon, to suggest he will be out for a period, because we've not really heard about that. So I'm hoping it is in addition. But yeah, I was surprised we were bringing another player in, if I'm honest, because obviously Kozu have spent the cash. They've brought in a player like Golding, Cardwell. You know, we renewed Dallas. So you can't say they're not putting it in. So yeah, I'm really intrigued as to who it will be, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow. So other news, the club has signed a deal with Araya, if that's the right way of pronouncing it, for next season. They produce kits for Millwall, Sheffield United, and a number of clubs. Finn, it'll probably only fit you. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that deal?
I think it's a good move for the club, definitely. I think as much as I do really like the designs of the Macron kits and how they've looked over the past few seasons, I think the kind of stock levels and the sizing
it's been a big issue.
Complete mess, really. And I mean, I'm a massive football shirt collector, and you know, Araya is one of my favourite kind of ones over the years. So I am personally very happy about this. They produce some lovely kits. Yeah, I'm happy about this one. As a football shirt collector, I'm happy about Araya.
Yeah, and the other big bit of news, I don't know if you saw, major plans for the West End improvements sent to the council. Sure you'll be pleased about that, Finn. Self-filling stations, have you seen that?
Yeah, I've heard all about it.
He's going to be having a great time in there, isn't he?
Is that where you...
We're going to be getting a lot more 6-0 predictions, I think.
Is that where you kind of... is it kind of like what they have at Wembley, where you...
touch screen and it does it yourself, take
a bit, yeah.
No, I don't. I think you pour it yourself. Looking at the pictures,
right.
you're physically pouring it, so they're not like at Wembley. They're already poured, aren't they? You tap in, you pick up your pint, you walk out. Whereas these, I mean, on the images, they're physical pumps that you've got to pour yourself. Right. So that's fun.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's good that they're. I mean, the West End definitely needs some sort of rejuvenation. I mean, all I'm concerned about is the toilets. To us, that's the main concern. Anybody who sits in the West End will know just how bad they are. I mean, I haven't used them in about a year, so that tells you.
It's the same in the East, but they were actually done up, weren't they, Charlie, last week?
Yeah, I was
Charlie at the game. When was it? It was Truro.
It was Truro. Yeah,
so it was really good.
I went in there. Like 2 troughs, they were shiny. The mushrooms were missing. The mushrooms weren't there, but the mushrooms seemed to be
now.
Yeah, they seemed to add them to the burgers, which I thought was a bit odd. But hey, no. In all seriousness, it's just those little things that just make that experience a little bit better. Because, like you, Finn, I didn't really use the toilets because they were vile. They really were. So just a bit of a lick of paint, new troughs. It just makes it a little bit more appealing for people. It just encourages people to come back if they've got decent facilities there and stuff. So looking at the redevelopment on the West End, it looks quite promising. To be fair, they've got some sheltered area outside as well.
We might have to move over, Charlie.
yeah.
Well, when they rebuild the East, I mean, we might have to go there for a bit.
Yeah, to make room, Finn.
There's any beer left after Finn's
that's all right. That's all right. We've, I don't know. Yeah, we've got everyone. We can get you in. It's all right.
But no, in all sense, that'll be interesting. Where they're going to put those. I mean, I don't know how much the East Stand hold. Is it 5,000, 4,000? If it's that many. So I know they've spoken before that there's other areas that are out of action that they're hoping to get put back into action, and that'll create a few more. But even so, it looks like it's going to be a squeeze. Or it's a temporary stand.
Because I don't know if they'll maybe... I don't know if you could do like part of the East End.
Yeah, I was just thinking, would it be half and half? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a lot of fans to kind of move to the other stands, and I don't even know if there's enough room for the season ticket. I don't know, but
that's their headache, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, before we move on, let me just share a video, a bit of fun. I don't know if you saw this the other week on social media. I thought it was brilliant. There we go. So this was a game in Turkey. The keeper kicked it out, hit a seagull. Seagulls hit the deck, died on the spot, and the club captain has gone and resuscitated the seagull. Unbelievable. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
No, fair play to him. I would not have.
Anything like that. I've actually resuscitated a fish, to be honest, twice in my life. Never a seagull. Yeah. To be honest, the amount of seagulls that fly around Roots Hall, I'm amazed that that's never happened at Roots Hall. Has it ever happened?
Yeah,
You ever know
true.
it ever happened?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
How do you get in this situation where you have to resuscitate a fish and then twice?
Yeah.
What,
Twice.
You've got to tell us the story
Well,
about
I have a big fish tank. I mean, I've kept tropical fish for like 30, 40 years. I know everything about the fish. And there was a couple of occasions where it jumped out, hit the deck, and bob, dead. So, yeah, I know how to resuscitate
So,
fish.
do you not just put it in the bin, no?
No. Mate, my fish are expensive. If you can save it, it will save you a bit of cash. It's not like goldfish.
Was it the same fish that you've had to resuscitate twice?
No. He would have been in a bad way if it was the same fish. No, two different fish over a period of time. But
Bit of
yeah,
headache.
never a seagull though.
Yeah, I'm not sure fish is any better.
Has anyone? Please let us know if you've ever seen that anywhere before. I don't recall it ever happening at Roots Hall. They probably don't like the food, actually. They probably don't come near our pitch. Or I shouldn't say that, should I? Yeah, they'll be all right in the West End. Yeah, strange one, that. Strange one. But, yeah, amazing. There you go. Never, ever seen that in my life. Let's move on to coming up games. So, did you see the club advertise, actually, movie week? Putting movies on every night. So, I've requested no more horror shows on a Tuesday night. Last week, obviously, we had the Terror of Truro. The week before that, we had the Nightmare with Boreham. I'm just hoping tomorrow's not going to be the Gateshead massacre. Joking aside, a real opportunity to get some points on the board. We've got Gateshead. I think we're only 1 point off the playoffs again now, with games in hand. So, point will put us back there, but we've got to look for 3 points, surely, haven't we?
Yep.
Finn, I'm certainly not going to predict 4-0 or 6-0. I mean, Gateshead, looking at them, second from bottom. We said this about Truro, didn't we? Second from bottom, scored 42. They've conceded 77, level with Morecambe as the most. But they have won the last 2 games against Solihull and Braintree. You know, despite their league position, have we learned a lesson from Truro?
Yeah, I've definitely picked up a bit of form. Just looking at the fixtures now, it's good that we have quite a nice, for the first time really this season, we've got quite a nice run of games at home. You know, we've spoken about how much we've been away due to postponements and various reasons, but it's nice that we have 3 games. Well, 4 out of our next 5 are at home. Obviously, some tough games in there, Forest Green and Rochdale, etc. But yeah, on Gateshead, I think they are coming into this on a little bit of form, which does worry me.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to kind of even predict us at the moment or what we're going to do, because if we turn up and kind of play like we were in the games before, kind of Boreham Wood and Horsham and stuff, if we play like that against Brackley and Morecambe against Gateshead, you know, it could be a 5-0 or something. But if we go and play like we did against Truro, we could even lose. So this has been kind of the
Well, we've got to
hardest.
take control of that first half, haven't we? Because the last 3 games, we've not done it, and we've been the second best team.
No, absolutely. And
If we
I
can
do
just sort
fear-
that out, then, you know, we can get. I can see us getting a result.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what Charlie was speaking about earlier with Truro, how they came at us and kind of attacked us so much. I feel like it could be the same with Gateshead, and I say that because, you know, they're coming in on a bit of form. You know, they've won their last 2, as you said, and I feel like they might be thinking, why not make it a third and just kind of keep trying to build on stuff rather than come here and have a negative mindset of kind of, let's just get a point. Or, I mean, they might, but I just feel like they're going to attack us. I have a feeling. It's difficult because I hope the spirits would be relatively high in the squad after Carlisle. I know the first half wasn't ideal, but coming back in the way that we did showed a bit of fight, and it did show that we've got that bit of quality in us. So I do hope that spirits are quite high. I'm feeling pretty positive, to be honest. I don't think they're going to cause us too many issues. But as I said, you really don't know with Southend at the moment.
I've given
It's
up predicting now, to be honest.
the hardest time of the season to predict.
I've no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
to be honest, we
exciting.
did say the Tuesday, Saturday. It's not going to be plain sailing. You are going to get
No.
the odd sort of result thrown
Yeah.
up. And Katie, you're the manager now. I've just appointed you. The last 3 games, first half, we've really not come out. What are you saying before the game to the players?
I think you need to
I'm
like, tell them they're
swearing.
already, like, tell them they're already like 3-0 down or something, then they might come out from the off.
Yeah, you're already 3 down. Go and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I think the games at Roots Hall, the crowd sort of does that for Kev. I don't think he necessarily has to say a lot. I think you can feel the atmosphere in Roots Hall and stuff like that. That hopefully cheers them on a little bit. I'm not really sure. I think there's no way you can underestimate these teams at the bottom. They're always the ones that cause the slip ups at the top of the table. You've seen that in the Premier League the past couple of weeks with Wolves and their results recently. I just think you've got to maybe start back for the basics. Just go out, enjoy it, and play for the club, play for each other, and the 3 points will hopefully follow.
Yeah. We'll do predictions in a minute. And actually, let's do predictions now for this. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm not going to get crazy because it went so wrong last week, didn't it? Yeah, just 1-0 for me. New boy on the score sheet. Whoever you are, Mr. Mystery midfielder is going to get the goal. Make himself a hero. Yeah, there you go. You heard it here.
I like that. I'm going to go 3-1. I think, to be honest, this is kind of a... I don't want to be too dramatic because obviously there's a lot of games left and like I never really feel like you can tell how you're going to do in the playoffs until you're actually there. But I feel like for me this is kind of a bit of a season-defining week. It's a very important week for us. I mean, obviously we have Gateshead, which isn't too tough of an opponent, hopefully, on paper. And then obviously Forest Green. And if you look at Halifax, they have Boreham Wood. So it's a real chance to make a statement, win our first game against top 6 side and beat Gateshead. So I'm going to go positive. I'm going to go for a 3-1, I think. I'm going to say a Dallas hat-trick. That's what I'm going to go for.
That'd be nice.
I had to go a bit ridiculous.
Katie, just come to you next.
I'm going to go 3-2. I think it'll be a lot of goals, but I think we'll get the win.
Okay, Charlie?
4-0 win.
Oh my God, I was
gone
not
the other way this
I know,
week,
there
haven't
you go. I am no, because I think that Truro would have been a bit of a wake up call. I think that I think at half time Kev would have given them an absolute rocket
he
at
was
half time.
fuming, wasn't he?
Because
No.
it's way below par of what the expectation is for the club. And I don't think we'll see many more performances like that, to be brutally honest. So yeah, I mean, we've touched on that. We've got a new midfielder coming in hopefully tomorrow. I think the problem is that we have got a very small squad at the moment. I think we're down to 18 players with a lot of games to play. So I think these home games I think are crucial for us. I think we've got to win these home games. Now some of those we've got some real difficult home games coming up. But I think it's important that the crowd just stick with it. I think there's going to be periods of the game where we're not going to have the possession we want, or things aren't going to be quite working out. You know, it might go 20 minutes before we score against Gateshead. It could go into the second half. But I think it's important that the crowd stick with the players because I know it's very hard. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? It's a catch-22 because the players need the crowd to give them that extra boost to be the 12th man. Yet the team have to perform to get the crowd up. So it's that sort of line between. But I think Kev's alluded to it, and I think what we kind of been built on over the last few years is that togetherness, and we showed it on Saturday against Carlisle that we don't give up. We will keep going and going and going. So I think it's really critical at the moment that I know there's a bit of a divide in terms of how people are reacting to results and stuff, and rightly so. People have got their opinions and they're entitled to it. But I think during those 90 minutes, we've all got to back the players. But yeah, I think with Gateshead, I can just see us a comfortable 4-0 win.
Well, I think we were very downbeat, weren't we, after obviously Boreham and then obviously Truro last week. But yeah, I mean, Saturday, after that result, that comeback has kind of got me excited again for tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to it. So then, Forest Green on Saturday. Charlie, are we going to lay out the red carpet for Robbie Savage? Lay on a nice buffet for him? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Give him some sour grapes and all while we're at it.
I think he's got those already.
No, I mean, there'll be nothing. I mean, to be fair, Robbie Savage, it is, but I think what he's done there himself, he's probably done us a favour because I think he's probably G'd us all up. I think he's created, what could have been a real difficult game. They've hit a bit of not great form of late. So they're not in a position where they were a few months back, slowly sort of slipping down the table. And I think
so looking at that, Charlie, sorry, 2 wins from the last 2, but yeah, that ended a run of 1 win in 10, as you say, losing 6 of those. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think if we win our games in hand, I think we'll go above them if my maths is correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Obviously rely on their results as well and stuff, but. No, I don't think there'll be any excuse for the crowd to get up. I think just the whole commotion of the game at their place has put I think it'll be a real tasty game, and I think it'll be 2 teams. I'm really excited to go and watch it actually.
So yeah, you're right. We're 11 points behind them, but we have got the 4 games in hand. Currently 5th in the table, scored 62, conceded 43. So obviously we've got a better defence. Tom Knowles is a good player. He scored 3 in the last 3. Finn, do you see that being the main threat from them?
Yeah, I do, but I feel quite confident about this game, to be honest. I also think it's I know it's like I can't remember if it's today, but Southend City Day, and it's they're kind of celebrating it quite a lot of the week, so it should be a good turnout. Should be a good turnout at the game as well. As Charlie said, should be a good atmosphere because of everything that happened with Robbie Savage, and it's also just a big game in itself anyway. Yeah, I feel weirdly confident about this game. I really do. I feel like this is going to be where we break that kind of nasty run against the big six or top 6. So yeah, I do feel positive about this game. But yeah, they of course have threats. So it won't be easy, but I do feel confident.
Yeah, well, my wife's actually coming to the game Saturday. Double British champion, remember, jiu-jitsu. So bringing the big guns out in case it kicks off. Katie, Forest Green have got a huge squad. Do you think maybe that is a reason for their lack of consistency?
Maybe you could, like you say, maybe we need a few more players to add to our squad. It could be the opposite in the sense of he's got too much choice, so there's too much rotation and not enough consistency. Yeah, I think a lot of the teams in this league this season have gone through patches where they've just not performed at the top level. I think it's a long season with cup games and stuff like that, and I think it probably just takes its toll on all of them.
Well, I mean, if we get 3 points tomorrow and then obviously 3 points Saturday, that may start creating a little gap between us and Halifax. As you said, we've still got a couple more games and a lot of those at home. So, it is looking interesting. It's not far away now at end of the season for that playoffs. So, yeah, let's get some predictions. Tough one. I don't know who to start with on this one. Let's start with you, Katie.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay.
2-1 win.
Finn?
I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
Back on the alcohol.
I just have a good feeling about this game. I feel, as you say about threats, I feel, now that I think about it, Carl McAllister is a good player. They do have some good players, but I don't necessarily look at them as quite the side they were earlier in the season, to be honest. And I know they've won 2 games in a row, but they weren't necessarily against great opposition. So, I'm going 3-0. I'm going to be positive.
Our players will be up for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I always like to say who I think will score, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah, go on.
Charlie Kendall, Ollie Coker, and I'm feeling a defender, maybe like Goodlift. Oh no, he's injured. That's a great one. I'll go James Golden.
James Golding, there you go.
I'll go for
Good
those
goal.
Yeah.
Charlie, 3-0 for you?
2-0 for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll go in a 2-0.
And I'm going to go with a 2-1
Yeah.
to us, obviously. Oh, yeah. There you go. Right, that is the end of the show. So next week we will have the reaction from Gateshead and Forest Green. We'll also have teammates from the Wizard, Harry Boys. So thanks again, Charlie, Finn and Katie. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Thanks to our sponsors, Surgical Holdings. And please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Up the Shrimpers.